Hey, Strat Wrestler here. Coming at you with a lesson about harmonizing the major scale. In this case, the E major scale, and why you should care about that, and why should you learn that theory, and why should you learn how to play that on your guitar. Because that's where a lot of cool little double stops come from. Like I just played, I went up the E major scale. That's what that is. Now I'm not playing the full triad on each of those. It's just a little sixth interval, I think. But it's all part of all those chords. So, the E major scale, in all its glory, you got your E, your F sharp, your G sharp, your A, your B, your C sharp, your D sharp, and your E. And if that's totally new to you, this may be a little too advanced of a video for you. Just go learn the major scale and how it's constructed. And I like the E just because it's common in a lot of popular music. So, what we're doing is we're building a triad off of each note in the scale. Now maybe you haven't discovered this yet, but when you're building triads, you're just building every other note in the scale on top of each other. With the E, you've got an E note, a G sharp note, and a B note. Now I'm playing the D shape from your cage system. Down here's your open D chord. Well, I move these top three notes up a full step, or 2 frets. And now it's an E major chord. Okay? So I'm going to build the triad that goes with each of these notes in the E major scale. So we've got an E major triad, an F sharp minor triad, a G sharp minor triad, an A major triad, a B major triad, a C sharp minor triad, and this is the weird one. This is a half diminished off the D sharp. Think of this as you're going to move it up from the C minor, which has got that D minor open shape right here. Like you're going to play a D chord here, but except you move the D note up the B flat. And then, of course, we end on the E at the top to complete the octave. I would recommend learning it off of the D shape and the A shape from the cage system, because that's where a lot of those slick little sixth interval and notes out of the harmonized scale come from. So you can obviously do more than just play up and down the scale, right? You got your E here. That comes off of your A shape. Start with a B chord here. To an E chord. And there's your C shape. See how they're all connected? D shape. This is similar to an A minor shape, but an A minor is what? A relative minor of C. So I guess you could think of that as a relative shape, and hence the shapes that I used at the beginning. When you learn these, then you can find some neat little licks and patterns that go with them. Oops. Now I tend to lean toward the country sounding stuff when I'm playing this, but I've heard it in some pop rock too. So, but you don't necessarily have to play all 3 notes from each triad at the same time. You could go playing the notes from the G and the E string. Not my favorite ones. I like the ones that combine the D string note with the B string note. And you end up with the opposite of what you think the shapes are for. This would be a C sharp minor chord. That's using the A minor shape from the cage system, A minor. But I'm only going to play the notes that are on the D string and your B string, which are a sixth apart, I think, interval-wise. And it's that A minor 7 shape. But you may remember that C sharp minor is the relative minor to E, right? So they share some notes. In this case, it's the G sharp note on your D string at the 6th fret, and your E note on your B string at the 5th fret. I'm just switching between this E chord and then this. And that's the major shape. It's the opposite of what you think of. You think of it as the minor shape, but it's the major shape here. Then when I go up to here, I'm playing the F sharp note on your B string at the 7th fret, and your A note on your D string at the 7th fret. And those are two notes that are shared with the F sharp minor with your A major. F sharp minor, well, they're not all shared. That F sharp note makes it an A sixth, A major 6, but so obviously if all you do is go up and down the major scale itself, by itself, it's not super interesting. It's musical, it sounds melodic, but it's when you can work in some of your other licks that you know, like I'm playing off of those shapes. And I'm hooking these little double stops and triads together to try to come up with some cool little parts here. And then here's one of my favorite ones. And I'm not going to show you what all of those are. I just wanted to give you a taste of the power of learning these little triads, these little 3-note chords, and then finding the little double stops out of them that you can walk up and down the neck in the scale that you're in. Maybe even add a little chromatic in between, like that would be an E, and that would be a F sharp, and this would be a G sharp minor, or from those chords. But if I slide between them, little chromatic. I bet you've heard that before. So anyway, here's a taste of this. Harmonizing the major scale, up and down the neck with these little double stops and triad shapes. Play around with that. You don't have to go up and down the whole scale every time. Just find a couple little parts that fit in with something else maybe that you've been playing. So until next time, go get your guitar and go play some music. Bye.